What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Chrissy, and I'm back with another video. And today we are going to talk about why Triple H puts world titles on the women faster than they do the men. So I wanted to make this quick little video because it's been something that's really been on my brain. If you really think about it, look at Stephanie Valkyrie and look at Tiffany Stratton. These women have already reached the mountaintop, right? When you get the world heavyweight title, the women's world heavyweight title, and the women's WWE title, that signifies that you are officially at the top. You're not a mid-carder, you're not floating, you're at the top. But when it comes to the men, Hunter seems to really operate on this whole earning basis, right? We've seen Hunter say this so many times in, post-show press conferences where, for example, like LA Knight, he still feels like he's earning his way, in due time, patience, right? That's what he says. He's all about the grind. He's all about the hustle. And I feel like personally, what you do outside of WWE shouldn't count towards your grind. Even if you were on the indies cutting up, you the best indie wrestler out there. When you come to WWE, technically you have a clean slate, because Shawn Michaels has even said that about people who get called up from NXT and you're on the main roster. Melo has talked about it. I believe Melo had a sentiment of Shawn Michaels telling him, you are still working to build even when you get to the main roster. You can't expect what you did on NXT to count towards whatever you're going to do on the main roster. You're still building, you're still building. It seems like they embed that in the men, but when it comes to the women, it's not the same. When you look at Stephanie Valkyrie, she's only been on the main roster for a couple of months. She hasn't even been on the main roster for a full year, and she's already the women's world heavyweight champion. Same thing with Tiffany. Tiffany won Money in the Bank. She cashed in. She was only on the main roster for a little bit before she already got the WWE Women's Championship. And to me, when you're in the women's division, you reach your pinnacle very quickly because they make it like that. They don't give the women real credible stories. It's only a select few. Like Io is in a story right now with her and Asuka, so they don't need a title. What Becky was doing when she doesn't have a title. She always have some type of story. Rhea Ripley, she had her story with the Judgment Day. She still has a story without the title. So it's only a select few of women that they give that grace to. But it seems like everybody else you have a couple of matches and you're already in the WWE Women's or World Heavyweight Championship contender. Like, that is crazy. This is why Jade Cargill looks how she looks. And this is the thing. Everything that I said about Jade, I see now other people are starting to see. I've been said Jade was green from the very beginning. I've been said that. So now I'm starting to see a lot of people is looking past how she looked and just looking at her overall presentation. Like Jordan, Grace, Stephanie Valkyrie, Julia, all these women chose to go to NXT first, and they had the option to go to the main roster. Stephanie has even talked about it. She said herself when she got the call from Shawn, he asked her, do you want to go to the main roster or do you want to be on NXT? Because Stephanie could have for sure just went straight to the main roster, but she chose to go to NXT first to get accustomed to how they do things, to get accustomed to their wrestling style, everything. Just she chose to do that first. Jade Cargill, I'm sure, chose to bypass the developmental system. She was only there training for a little bit before she was being presented on TV. And this is why her matches are how they are. She's not safe in the ring. Clearly, after what just happened with the whole Tiffany Stratton thing, Jade Cargill is very green, and she's already in the WWE Women's title picture. Why not have Jade go on a U.S. title run like the female John Cena or what Sammy is doing? The Women's United States Championship don't mean anything because look who they're putting it on. I feel like Chelsea will always have that she was the first. You know what I mean? So she's going to have that accolade. But as far as like Jade Cargill, why not have Jade Cargill go through the mid card? Why not have her go on a dominant run like she did with the TBS title? You know, that's how you build people. She's just going right for the mountaintop. And her title reign is going to be just as bad as Tiffany's is, because they're not giving the women really anything to fight for, to chase. It is other things you can chase in WWE besides just going straight for the WWE title. And which brings me to the point that I'm making with, they put the title on the women way faster than they do the men. Look at Carmelo Hayes. Braun Breaker and Jacob have both already had their mid-card titles. So if they ever get in the main title picture one day, it won't feel like, oh my God, they're just giving it to them. They already had a mid-card title already. I see Jacob and Braun probably within the next year or two probably being in the title picture. So they don't do that really for the women, at least not all of them. Jade Cargill should definitely be in the mid card and flying through that and then getting to the main championship. So I don't understand why Hunter picks and chooses who he wants to fast track. Because when you see a person like Carmelo, what he's done on NXT, of course, didn't translate over to the main roster. And I hope that it don't happen to Trick. I love Trick Williams. I feel like when Melo came back for the NXT homecoming, Trick looked like a star standing next to Melo. And Melo just looked like a regular guy, which is so crazy because we all know Trick for being Melo's sidekick. We don't know him for being the guy. But Trick's aura outshines Carmelo Hayes. I'm sorry, it's the truth. That's my opinion. It outshines him. So for Hunter to pick and choose who he wants to put at that mountaintop so fast, I believe the women reaches their ceiling a lot faster than the men. Because once you kind of get that specific championship, now you kind of have to go back down the ladder. With 9 times out of 10 with men, once you get up there to that mountaintop, you hardly ever come back down and fight for mid-card titles. Look at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins has been able to maintain him being in the main event, maintain him being in that championship spot forever since he's gotten there. We have not seen Seth fight for the Intercontinental Championship since he's been World Heavyweight Champion or since he's been WWE Champion. He was Intercontinental Champion and WWE Champion at a time, but since he's really been WWE Champion, we have not seen him go back down and fight for the Intercontinental Championship. Same thing with Gunther. Gunther had the longest Intercontinental reign. Then he got the World Heavyweight Championship. You will not see Gunther come back down and fight for the Intercontinental Championship. But but it's not really like that for the women. Look at Bianca Belair. Look at everybody who's had the titles and then they're fighting for like the tag team belts. Becky is adding prestige to the Intercontinental Championship for the women because Becky has it. But you think Hunter is going to tell Seth, hey, we need you to get the Intercontinental Championship and add some prestige to it. He's not going to do that. But he'll do it for the women. Bianca had to come back down to help build Jade. Just think, if Jade didn't come to the company, would Bianca ever be a women's tag team champion? I don't think so. Same thing with Charlotte. Charlotte had to put Tiffany over. So now Charlotte is not even in the title picture. She's the current women's world tag team champion with Alexa Bliss. Do you think Hunter would put like Cody and Gunther together to get the tag team titles? I don't think so. Like that's literally just how it is. And I just think for the women, that's why I was kind of a little iffy when Stephanie got the title, because I'm looking at it like, I'm seeing that Stephanie was going to always defeat Naomi for the title. If Naomi wouldn't have been pregnant, 9 times out of 10, she probably was going to defeat Naomi at Clash at Paris because she has the title now. They just had to take a little detour. You know what I mean? So I wanted to make this video because, like I said, it's just a little observation of mine. But you guys let me know in the comments, do you think the women reach the mountaintop a lot faster than the men? Do you think Hunter doesn't give the women the same grind as the men? Y'all let me know in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will check you guys later. Toodles.